All right, we're going to go ahead and get the meeting started. Were there any changes to the agenda? Okay. I think what we need to do is figure out what we want to send to the board first. Now, I had sent out a proposal for a charging document regarding the evening classes in Mumford Community. And I'm following your suggestion that we do all these with charging documents. We hadn't always done that in the past. So we're going to do everything with the charging document going forward. Did everybody get the copy that I sent out?
Yeah, the list of, yeah.
Yes. Yep.
I got the list of
Okay.
comments.
No, I also, okay.
I missed it.
Does anybody need a copy?
Of what? Yeah, I don't have it, but I didn't
Can
see
I
it.
make some copies? Anybody else?
Yeah, what about this?
Because I actually had a copy, but I apparently didn't share my phone.
Sorry, you must have had it on email and I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I sent several. We got confusing. So just following up on that, once you two get a copy, and Mary, did you get a copy?
I can hear you.
Did you get a copy of the proposed
I did.
charging document I sent out?
Certainly did.
Okay. Any comments on that? Any changes you'd recommend?
No, I think it's a good idea.
Okay.
Okay.
Nancy, did you get a copy of it?
Yeah, I did.
I did.
I mean,
I think it's great. I think
it's not much
sent you an
different than what
email.
we were doing.
Did you hear
Okay,
me?
Tracy, hello. I can hear you.
Did you hear?
Can
Can you hear me?
I heard you. Yes, thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Did you get, Tracy? Did you get a copy of the proposed charging document?
I did. I thought it looked great, and I think I sent you an email saying that too. I think it's great.
Okay. When we get the copies back in here from Karen, I just want to get charging document and then talk about what other ones we want to send. We had the steps on the
Gary,
pools.
Gary, you're cutting in and out. Tracy, are you having the same problem?
I am. I hear it. It's cutting in and out. Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, is this better?
Yes.
Okay. I
Yes,
was
definitely.
facing the other way. I'll definitely face this way. So everybody's now got a copy of the charging document. People on the phone have all said it looks good. Any other comments in the group here?
I have a comment.
Okay.
This looks good. I had a thought when I was at home. When I saw that 11% of the people who did the survey would like the pools open later and or evening classes, a thought occurred to me that if one of the pools was open later, we could kind of kill two birds with one stone. We could offer the class in a section of the pool, but those who don't want to take the class would have an opportunity to be at a pool later. And it would save money in the long run, I think, because the lifeguard who has to be there for the class to already then be there for the later hours.
Right.
And secondly, it could draw people into the class. I mean,
Right, watching it,
they
yeah.
may say, hey, that looks like fun. Next week, I'm going to, drop in on the class. So I kind of saw it as a win-win. And I wondered, so now I'm reading the charging document. Should they be two separate charging documents, or might we consider combining the two concepts of a pool being open later
There's a class being conducted.
with a class being conducted and all day for those who'd like to come to the pool later?
Where do you think that logistically that could work?
I think it could work at Mumford.
Not that familiar.
I think it would. I think Yacht Club might be a little too small. I remember one time when we couldn't get Mumford, we did do the Water Oaks class at Yacht Club. I think the Yacht Club, Mumford's bigger, I believe, and I
Yeah, Mumford is big.
on the other hand, Yacht Club might be more of a draw for those who want to come to the pool late and, and maybe get a drink or whatever at the tiki bar. Yeah.
That's what I was going to say is, I like the concept
Right.
of the killing two birds with one stone. And I think that's a good idea. I'm just not sure that Mumford's would be the place that people want to go after hours. Because there isn't a bar, there isn't any food.
Yep.
And most of the time, the people that are interested in doing something a little bit later when they get off of work are probably also interested in grabbing a bite to eat and having a drink. So again, just my thought, but I like the idea, but I'm not sure that Mumford's would be the place that two of them would work.
You're right. You're right. So a swimming racket or yacht club? Not swimming
You
racket.
can't do swimming racket because
Okay.
the water's too deep.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it has no shallow area for
Yeah.
shorter people. So
So I was thinking when I asked you that question about the yacht club, because you could have a lot of people there. They might have to limit the amount of people that could come in then, because you're for the exercise class where people can actually stand.
yeah,
Going there at night.
I can see it as a good way to test it out.
Yeah.
And again, I'd go back to probably Mumford because I think that could handle it better and see what you get. I mean, this could be, it could be that you don't get as many, only 11% said, I wish to have later hours. And are they going to come every day? Who knows,
Right.
So,
Well,
and so maybe
Yeah.
I'm wrong. Maybe you do it as two separate. Yeah. Just keep it simpler.
Very.
where do you see us
Yes, I can.
saving money? Because you would have to have lifeguards for the people that are swimming, and then you'd have to have the swimming instructor for the ones that are taking the class. So if we combine it, because I agree with Barry.
You have to have a lifeguard for the class as well
Yep.
as a swimming instructor. So the lifeguard would
Right.
already be there for the evening swim. And then you wouldn't have to keep an extra lifeguard on for the class. That's the savings.
Well,
You understand that,
does it
Nancy?
go by race? I do, but I think you'll still need. If I'm Michelle, I'm still going to put another lifeguard in there in anticipation
No.
because
Oh
one
my
lifeguard.
gosh. They won't. I have seen
Yeah, I-
crowds at the indoor pool, and they wait so long to pull in a second lifeguard. There have been times when I looked at it and said, I cannot believe there's not a second lifeguard here. I don't think,
No.
I mean, I'm sure that there are some guidelines for this, but I
Yep.
think they push that guideline. And I don't think,
Mhm.
honestly, that you're going to have that many people. The
Right.
class will have maybe 15,
Right.
and you might get another 15, 20 coming for the evening hours. So I don't know. I I don't know. I mean, I kind of think they could try it. If it ends up being a crowd pleaser, then, you know,
Arrangements.
you make other arrangements, right? You move it over to the other pool and you bring in a second lifeguard. I mean, you know, that's a possibility, but I was just trying to make this more palatable to Michelle and the board.
Anyway, I taught water aerobics. Taking the size of this room and where that computer is, that's me in the water. So the width is good, but less length, and I had about 40 people.
Seriously.
Seriously. You're in water. And my program, we ran around in a little circle by ourselves, but less than this is what I. So you're saying it doesn't take up that much? Well, exactly.
Yeah, and if it was at the yacht club pool, you've got the area to the left where they put the swim lanes in, and that
You take
possibly
everything.
well, take that out, but just have one lane. One, I was going to say, have one of the ropes all the way down to partition that off
Right.
for the class would be
Open.
for whoever wanted to come.
And they still would have a lane, swimmer that wants to come and swim.
And,
And that, okay, try to visualize it.
but I'm also wondering if we did this, we'd have to pick 2 days of the week to do this, because Wednesday,
Right.
pardon me, Wednesday is already family fun night. So you could do maybe a Tuesday and Thursday for the
2 days.
later hours.
Water aerobics 2 days. Doesn't matter. They have their Thursday. Just throwing it in.
So any comments from Nancy or Tracy or Mary?
I think Tuesday and Thursday would be good nights. And I think on Thursday, because they have music at the yacht club, if you're doing it at the yacht club, you'd have people who'd come in and swim and be there for the music as well. So I think that's a great idea.
Agree. This is
Okay,
Mary.
so-
I agree.
Okay, thank you, Mary. So I guess the question then is, do we add that all in so we've got one charging document? Or should we have two separate charging documents? I'm thinking one.
One with that group. One.
Okay. What I will do then is I will redo the charging document and send it out to everybody to get approval. And once I've got approval from everybody, I'll go ahead and send it to the board. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
Gary,
not
was
sure I agree with
thinking
one
maybe
charging
we
document.
Maybe we, the charging document is geared in response to the requests from the survey, and then the solution beneath it are the two things: the classes and the after hours swim. That'll kind of pull it together, and also it gives focus to the response from our customers, basically.
Well, and while 11%
So
may
you-
have said on the survey that they wanted the pools open later, I hear people in the swimming pools all the time saying they wish that the pools were open later.
You can add about the working people.
Yeah, definitely about the working people. Okay, so again, we're going to be looking at one charging document that will talk about the information from the survey and why we're proposing the class in the evening hours.
Segregating backgrounds.
Yes,
From discussion to background.
yes.
Good.
The only point I'll bring up is based on history. That not always are our proposals presented clearly and succinctly to the board. And I'm sort of afraid that if they say no to one, they'll out of hand say no to both. I hate to be devil's advocate. I'm just trying to, in my head, picture this being presented to the board. We've had issues like this in the past, and I'm a little worried that one document, the message, both, it could be in regard to the survey, 11% said blah, blah, blah. One, under, one action is have an evening class, discussion why. Another action, have evening hours, discussion why. And within the discussion, you could say, this might be done at one pool, thereby, testing out the process to see if it's going to be successful. A, B, saving money by only needing the one lifeguard as opposed to a separate lifeguard for the class. So maybe we could do it that way, but I don't think I do two documents. That's much better. Can I smell it? They can't hear you.
What about staggering the documents? Establish the exercise class and then piggyback off of that the next month. Oh, the proposal, you mean? Proposal, yeah.
Well, if you're going to put it as a response,
I do like the idea.
we also have to take into consideration they've already said no to these two things. So this is like another time we're bringing it up. They've already we've already proposed this, if my memory serves me correctly. And we haven't gotten anything on it. That's why I agree. We need to try to connect it to the responses in a way showing that our initial request was spot on to what our members are asking for.
Well, and for some reason, they don't seem to like that exercise class. So I'm wondering if you tie that in with the late hours, if you will get a negative response. But perhaps if you talk about having later hours that the people are looking for, then you might be able to get the exercise class in, because you are exactly right. They don't seem to want that exercise class.
Yep.
Well, I don't think they want any.
All right. So
or anything after hours.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put together two charging documents, both of them using the background of the survey to highlight the things that we've already suggested, and then unprovoked the people on the survey where they could say anything about any department they wanted, and they specifically mentioned this. So I'm going to start out trying with two documents, and we'll use the background of the survey. And again, I will send both of them out to everybody so we get an agreement before we send anything to the board.
So Gary, can I give you an idea what you might want to do? Rick is not on the phone, is he?
Not at the moment, no.
Okay, so because he's not on the phone, he's not hearing really this conversation. Maybe once it's written up, maybe you schedule a time with Rick and ask his advice. Explain to him exactly what we're trying to do. And as a past president, ask his advice as to, is this the right way to present it? Because by doing that, you're getting him to buy in. He's either going to buy in and become part of the solution, and he'll have a better understanding when presenting it, or you'll know right away if he doesn't seem interested that it's not going to fly anyway. But I think asking for his his thoughts and ideas and getting his buy-in, I think would help it.
Okay, well, that's a good point. I can certainly do that once everybody has agreed on the wording of the two charging documents. Then I will ask Rick if I can meet with him and just kind of review it and get his thoughts on what changes may or may not need to be made.
Yes.
Okay?
Yep, speak up.
You have to try anything with this board.
Yeah.
I just don't feel like he's gonna.
Well,
But you're asking one person basically to speak for all the board.
Well, no. I think all we're gonna do is ask him if there's anything else he would suggest we do
To present it.
to present it to the board.
And also,
What
we're
what
kind of
you're
asking
really
him,
doing,
how do we present this?
yeah, what
He's-
you're
he's
really
getting-
doing is giving him the word tracks and the thoughts behind what we're trying to do. So he presents it as if we were there. That's really what Gary would be doing. Is putting into his mind where a thought process was and why, so it's presented properly.
And maybe even inquiring from him, think we should combine this into one document or go with the two as I've done here so that each idea is sort of looked at individually. You know, you can even ask his input on that. I mean, if he were here, we'd be asking him right now.
Okay.
Try the two.
Yeah, all right,
Be open. The
we'll go ahead and
lifeguard's gonna be there.
I'll send these out to everybody, get everybody's response, and then I'll see if I can't get a meeting with Rick to preview everything before we actually send it to the board.
Yep.
Okay. Moving on then. One of the other things that I was going to ask Rick if he was here was what's going on with the steps and the pool ladders, because we've submitted that. I actually got a follow-up email from a gentleman who's a pool member asking again what's going on. So I believe Rick had said that these were all being worked on and they'd be taken care of. So when I get together with Rick, I will also see if there's any news on the steps. As long as we're going to be using the survey results as kind of a background for the classes and the evening hours, was there anything else, particularly off the survey, that looked interesting that we should also send a separate charging document on? And before we go there, I guess the other question is, should we be looking at doing more than the original two at one time? And I guess as I'm thinking out loud, my thought is probably not. Just want to do the first two. Odds?
Yeah. Set the priority and decide which is the most important that we'd like to see
Right.
done. It's February. It won't even go to the board till March. Then there's a discussion, blah, blah, blah. The pool opens in May. I don't know, you're kind of running out of time.
For any,
They're not going to be able to do swipe cards, for instance. We all think it's a great idea, but they're not going to be able to do swipe cards before May.
so you
So
get the steps done,
we get the stuff done.
which is very important.
So maybe, you know, and then we also have yet to, we have before submitted either a charging document or a proposal, I don't know which, regarding the beach club facility, and we were told stay out of it. So I don't know if it's worth
Well-
submitting that again or not, because that was the other big one. That was 35%.
Is that me?
Right.
Is that
But
me?
they're already on it, right? And didn't we get an update
Yes.
on that? Was it at the meeting about the restaurant change, or did I hear it at a board meeting online? Something, John Viola was giving updates on that. So that I think is, going to happen.
Yeah, the two things that were said at the last board meeting, number one was the wooden walkway around the bottom of the beach club facility was taken out and a cement one was put in. I haven't been over there to look since it was done, but John did say that was taken. And Touchability has said numerous times that there would be something with the upstairs area at
Yeah,
the beach club.
make money from it.
So those two things are in the works. The only thing that I'm still wondering about is the exterior of the building and the deck.
Bathrooms.
In the bathrooms, yes. So
Yeah.
I know that Beach Club is being worked on, and I guess that would be a follow-up question with Rick as well. What's going on, and is there anything else we need to do to help make it move forward? Any other thoughts on the survey? The one other interesting things off the survey that I saw, and this isn't really related to aquatics, was 26% the people that did put comments on the surveys said that it would be nice to have some sort of fitness center. And they wanted that at one of the pools. Now, I think at some point we should at least let the board know that that was a comment on the survey. But to be honest, the strategic planning committee that put out the survey is already working on a report to the board. So some of these things will be listed there. So maybe what we should do is hold off doing anything more with the survey until after we see what the report to the board from the strategic planning committee is. Does that seem reasonable?
I think that makes sense because I do think that they are addressing a lot of those things.
Goody.
Yeah. So any other thoughts related to the survey right now? Okay, moving on. One of the other things we had suggested and we were going to present to Matt Ward was the idea of getting rid of the plastic straws and utensils and using paper ones or some biodegradable alternative to the plastic. Since MOC is no longer going to be running the food venues, does anybody know if Touch of Italy and their other facilities use plastic or paper?
I don't recall.
I don't
Well,
know, but it seems
yeah.
to me like at this point we should just let them get on board and find out what they're going to do before we start, getting involved in the whole thing again, because I'm sure that they're going to be making a lot of changes.
Right.
I agree. And timing's a bit off. Didn't Trump just sign something negating the
Yes, all of that
with
stuff has been thrown out. No more paper straws.
Exactly. So maybe we'll just stay away from that for the moment.
I think that's a wise idea. Let's just drop that. Let's drop it.
Okay, well, that was going to be my follow-up comment, but you beat me to it, so fine. Well,
Let's drop it, but let's keep it.
Well,
Hold
just-
on to it let's see how Touch of Italy pans out and,
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting if we got together with the environmental committee and did a joint charging document,
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
but at a later date. Now's not the
that's
time.
a great idea.
And hopefully by then some of this, well, anyway. some of the verbiage might calm down by then, I'm hoping. Oh, it's not gonna go away. I just mean,
Yeah.
we,
Yeah.
you know, we know about Ocean Pines, a fairly conservative area, and so not everybody's gonna be in agreement if we bring this up now, but maybe wait a bit. We'll get it. The other thing is, I still like the swipe cards, and even though I said, let's not bring it up now, I don't want to lose track of it. That's another one. We were all in agreement at the last meeting. We all thought, boy, that's the answer. It's the answer for the beach club bathroom. It's the answer for the lines to get in at the yacht club for sure. And, you know, it's like, I mean, again, I'm sort of like, don't put too much on the board at one time because they don't like that. But, you know, I just don't want to lose track of it.
Yeah.
So for those two things, could we maybe collect some data over the summer? When you're at the pool, how many people are waiting or something like that, or, you know, how long the lines are at the beach club at a certain time.
Put a camera there.
Well, yeah, good luck with
Yeah.
that. Well, that's a good idea that
Well,
we'll,
photo.
if we'll keep that in mind as we move forward. I think it's too late to have that be ready for this season,
Right.
but I do think it's important to keep an eye on it and do a little bit of research, and then we can put together charging document later this summer.
Yeah. August is a good time to work on that because September is when they start talking about the budget.
Everything again now.
So,
I live close to the yacht club. I could just drive up and take a picture.
okay.
When they're online there.
You know, we could even, again, not now, later, we could even maybe think about over the summer doing a little thing we hand out to folks at the pool.
Can we legally do that
I don't know.
as the committee?
I don't know.
Yes, we can.
Are you happy with the situation? Do you have whatever question?
Yeah. I mean, we could,
So-
you know, I mean, you don't want to lead them on like, hey, wouldn't a swipe card be great to get in? No, but, you know, maybe there's
We wait
something.
50
How
minutes
often
out there
have
in
you,
this heat.
right, how often have you had to wait to get to the pool?
Yeah, that kind of question.
You know, that kind of thing.
Was there enough chairs?
Yeah.
How was the wait staff?
Wait staff's kind of good.
Well, I don't know.
You know, did you
How was
find
the
the
bath?
bath?
How was the food?
How was the bathroom?
Do we have a technology department that would
Go
have
ahead.
knowledge of what the technological capabilities are? Like, how easy would it be to do the swipe cards? Because I think if we had some knowledge and some cost, you know, time and materials cost, it might help when the time comes.
Yeah, good
How do they
point.
check people in now? They look on the computer?
Yeah.
Okay, so at the racket center, yes, we have a swipe card. It's a little thing attaches to the computer. You run your card through it, and if you're
Now,
Okay,
for members, if you have a membership, same thing at the pools. If you are if you're a swim member, you swipe your card, but everybody else, they just stand in line and they say, yeah, are you a resident of the Pines? Yes or no? And then they charge you accordingly. So if right now there's no separation. So I'm a member, and maybe there's 10 people ahead of me online, and they're all not swim
Maybe
members.
renters.
so there should be two on.
well,
Like,
and
look at my
Yeah.
computer line.
Karen, I think one of the issues is because they are at one table, everybody to go through, and the person sitting at the table checking people in is the one that does the swipe. I think what we've been thinking about is having a separate swipe mechanism on the other side of the fence, so that if you are a member, you can just swipe it and go.
Not
Yeah.
stopping and
Yeah,
talking.
we do our own swiping at the racket center.
Well, and that would be the alternative, because if you're not a bracket member,
Yeah.
you go,
You have to talk to the girl.
So
okay, well, that's kind of what we're suggesting.
this card works is if you're a member and you swipe, the gate will open. Otherwise, it won't. So it's, I could see where at the rack, correct me if I'm wrong, I could swipe my card and walk in, but not be a racket member. I just live here. You follow?
Not a swim member. You mean you're not a swim member?
No,
You're
we're
somebody
talking
else.
about, she's saying the racket, she goes, they swipe their own cards. Well, that's all very nice, but I wonder how many people who actually do not have a racket membership swipes their card and walks in.
Because I'm
Because I live here.
I live here.
Right.
And I had to swim.
Oh, yeah, we don't really
And-
actually know.
Bingo.
Oh, wait a minute. But you're a swim member.
Okay, so with the swim member,
You can go to all the pools.
you can go to all the pools. Everybody can go to all the
Right.
pools, but they swipe your card so they don't charge you when you've already paid.
Yeah.
But you still have to stand in line with everybody else, and so you need a separate area.
Swipe.
Yes, you can't have the way it's set up because of that.
Only one, table.
Have one table check in those who are not swim members. Have a separate entrance, if you will.
Right.
The swim members where you swipe, go in,
Go.
swipe, go in, swipe, go in. And that gets the swim members out of feeling uncomfortable
Right.
because they apparently can go to the front of the line
Yeah.
and be swiped in. But it's, nobody does it because you feel like it's such a heel because, here's all these other people waiting. So I would never do it. It's an extremely uncomfortable situation. And many people have said that to me.
Would you go ahead to
That-
swipe? Is that what you're saying?
They don't want to go to the head of the line.
It's embarrassing.
Just because you're a swim member, you gotta do it. I mean, you're looking at these families with kids in the heat,
Yeah.
and you go, well, I'm a swim member, so here, as soon as you're done ringing that one up, swipe me in. But you just kind of had to tend to other people. Yes, that's the benefit of being a member, but people are embarrassed or uncomfortable. They don't want to do it that way.
Just separate, or just a station.
Yeah.
Pool members only.
Dum, dum, dum.
It sounds very
Good luck, trying to get that to this
It
board.
totally can be done.
And that's something I think, as Karen said, need to do a little bit of research, not only in looking at the lines to make sure that it's needed, but also to see if there's somebody in the tech department that we could get some background and it's even feasible.
Mm.
Any other comments or thoughts? All right, well, one other thing that I want to talk about briefly is Ocean Pines is doing another season kickoff event. This committee is a committee that kind of started the whole idea of having an event like this.
Right.
Last year, it was held right out here in White Horse Park. It was a success, but it was complicated getting everything together. And what we're doing is we're putting together a new committee to work on just the season kickoff. Technically, the communications committee is the one that has been charged with organizing everything. But Linda Yershi, who is the chair of communications, and me are the two co-chairs for this working committee. So if anybody is interested in helping us out, we'd certainly appreciate that. The date is going to be Saturday, May 17th. It will be over at the Ocean Pines Veterans Memorial Park. So it'll be a lot easier for people to get around. Parking will be better.
Yeah.
We'll actually have the food and beer trucks set up around the pavilion, and the pavilion is going to be like a little food court so people can get out of the sun and sit down and eat. We are looking for all of the advisory committees and any of the Ocean Pines clubs, local organizations, and businesses to get involved. So if anybody's interested, we'd certainly love to have you join the committee. And the committee's first meeting is going to be next Friday, the 21st, at 3:00 in the community center. So if anybody's available, please join us. And if anybody, even if you don't want to join the committee, if anybody knows of businesses or groups that might want to participate, be a vendor, and haven't done that in the past, we'd love to send them some information. And we're also looking for gift certificates and items that will become part of the raffle prizes that we'll have given as well. So keep that in mind, and if anybody's interested, let me know. We don't really have any public here, so we can skip by the public comments. Is there anything else before we close the meeting?
Yeah, but then the meeting on Friday.
Nancy, you got anything? Mary, you got anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Tracy left. Nancy, are you still there?
Yep. Oh, yep, I am. All good.
Okay, so any other comments, concerns, anything? Anybody here?
Now we're good.
Right? Then I'm going to call the meeting to a close. The next meeting will be that information, but the next meeting will be on March 13th. We seem to be hitting 13 a lot.
Thursday or
Thursday, March 13th, same place, same time.
11:30.